Well, we could do a bunch of stuff to
It
Matt's
does
image, and
take
he
a
wouldn't even
little,
know it.
yeah.
You know what? I'm okay with that.
Oh, I hope I didn't link the wrong YouTube.
But
No, I couldn't have.
I guess I'll just have to start green screening and embarrassing photos of you guys.
Good luck finding them. I've been very conscious about my social media
That's it.
shenanigans.
I'm setting someone in the brigade to follow you. Like wherever you go on the field, they're gonna be following you in the
I
stands.
think we
taking
might notice
photos of
Deej
you.
following us.
I
said it
thought
was
you were just gonna
Deej.
be on the drum, man. Do you think you're usually gonna be taking photos?
I don't know, man. Maybe that's part of the trick. Maybe he would be the last one we would expect because he's the first one I would expect.
Oh, there you go.
All right, so 1868
Yep, no.
weekly.
Not showing up.
Well, I guess
Have
I'll
you
have a
clicked
look.
OK?
See.
What's up?
Have you clicked OK?
What are you talking about? Have I clicked OK?
I don't know.
Why would I be like, all right, everyone check? Yeah, apparently we're at a solid 30 frames per second. I'm kind of surprised about that, to be honest with
Nice.
you guys. Yeah.
I got a notification a minute ago for a live stream, and it says stream offline.
Okay. Interesting. I might have to do some YouTube shenanigans here. Indeed. All right.
Quite.
So I just got a notification from 5 months ago. The truckie's so out of focus.
I think I really confused the camera there.
All right, so of course, right? We finally get everything figured out, and then here's another problem.
Yeah, it's now appearing. How long was the live stream online for?
It's been online for online in quotes for exactly 3 minutes now.
It says
30 frames per second.
hallelujah.
Oh wait, we're live.
What's up?
I think we're live.
Yep, it says live.
Why did it take 3 minutes to go live?
Don't know.
Yep, we're live.
Okay, now we're live.
I got it on my phone right here. Hi, Inception.
Oh God, that's Matt.
Man, that delay. Okay, I'm turning you off right now.
What happened?
Oh, there's like a 10-second delay between what I'm hearing from you through Hangouts and then what I'm seeing on YouTube.
Okay, yeah. See, a delay makes sense, but
Yeah.
For a live show to start 3 minutes after you started recording,
Mm.
Growing pains. It was
yeah, I gotta be
like,
100% honest with you guys. I'm afraid to touch anything because it's like working now. So I'm just gonna
Don't
sit
mess
here and
with it.
sip my cream soda.
Oh, I thought that was the group.
A what?
A qua. A duke.
Oh, thank you. I was just about
Duke.
to make that joke. Yeah, we make bad jokes, I guess. So, Brad, on the app, how do you see the live stream? You have to log into a different account.
Yeah.
Oh
your
wait,
account.
you're not in mine.
Yeah, that would be weird.
Not really. You guys are live. Oh, that's such a beautiful field. I love Greater Nevada.
It is really nice. I know people give us crap for being in a baseball stadium, but it's a really nice baseball stadium.
It is, and we are recording. We're gonna officially start the show now. We'll see how this goes here. Welcome to what may or may not be the first live episode of 1868 Weekly. I'm your host, John Macaluso, joined by, we're going to go with Lieutenant Dangle first because he's ready for you. How you doing, Matt?
Hey, everybody. Lieutenant Dangle here. I'm ready to do live.
He's ready to cut out for most of what he just said. You
Awesome.
all just got dangled. And now we have Pal in the Sky, Brad Polonsky, with a little bit less so of a fun entrance to the show. How you doing, Brad?
I'm not as tryhard as Lieutenant Dangles is.
Is it
I-
try hard when it succeeds, though?
Yes.
I don't think so.
No, it is not.
Yeah, no, I don't think
Yes,
so
it
at all.
is. You know what? I got my partita. There we go. Partita. I got my
Really
Dane
struggled to say
Kelly.
his name there.
Yeah, I am. No, I'm trying to point and say. Because we can do this now.
We
It's
can.
incredible.
Yes, we can point. We can be visual, and you guys are going to see a little bit of some of the cool stuff that we're trying to do. And of course, we did not go about telling a lot of people about this because we're kind of practicing, getting some of the kinks out. I am not a perfectionist, but I'm pretty.
I was going to say that.
I'm not. I don't think I'd say a perfectionist, but I would say I am like anal about really intricate things, which actually is the same thing now that I think about it. But I digress. So today we've got two things that we're really gonna hit hard on today, and that's the San Antonio match. We don't want to talk about it, but we have to. It's our jobs. We're going to, and then we're gonna talk about the upcoming match against the LA Galaxy DOS, and that's coming up on Saturday. Today, as of recording, is Tuesday, June 11th. So just a heads up if you watch this. I mean, now we have a time and a date for when we record because it's on the video right now and you guys are watching it live. So if you are watching this live, which you shouldn't be because I think nobody, knows about this, hey, and that's that. So to get started, I really want to talk about U.S. women's, guys. We're not even going to start the show with 1868. We're going to start the show with our women's national team 13-0 against Thailand.
That is just rough. You got to feel sorry for the Thai ladies, but dude, our girls, they knew that they had to go out, they had to come in strong and get that good goal differential right out of the gate, because who knows how much the other teams are going to score in the group stage. I know there's a lot of criticism about them celebrating, but they're in the World Cup. They've been waiting for 4 years for it. You celebrate every single time you score.
All 13, though, Matt? Maybe celebrate the first 5, but was the next 8 overkill?
Well, I think a couple of the later ones were from players who had never scored in the World Cup. That's their first World Cup goal. They should be celebrating. And it's not like they're kind of being braggadocious in front of the Thai players. They're celebrating with their comrades.
Comrades is a good word for it. Brad, what are your thoughts on that? Can you ever over-celebrate?
It's not the how much you celebrate, it's how you do celebrate, in my opinion. For example, if you're like, giving it the good 1-2 to the goaltender, the hip thrusts. What's that one Key and Peele video where it's like you get 2 hip thrusts and the third one you get a penalty in football? If you do that to the goalkeeper's face, then of course that's a little braggadocious extra. But if you're like giving your teammates a hug and you have like a pre-planned out, like you get in a toboggan, bobsled because Olympics, and practice that, and you bring it out on goal number 10, it's a little petty, sure, but I don't think it's the worst thing in the world.
You guys know me pretty well by now. Like I would say we're probably good friends, the three of us. I am a destroy the opponent kind of guy. I always have been, and I always will be. I think that maybe it's okay to celebrate and be all happy and excited, I guess. I just look like there's so many chances for another team to come back. We're gonna talk about that like this week because that happened, and so yeah. I mean, I think it's okay to pour on the points, and especially nowadays where teams can come back, and there's no lead that is safe in any sport anymore. Also, if you don't want a team to celebrate something happening, don't let it happen. I
like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's as simple as that. Like, Cam Newton was criticized a lot during his MVP campaign a couple of years ago for the Carolina Panthers, because he would score a touchdown, celebrate, and other teams got pissed. And it didn't matter to Cam Newton. In fact, I think he'd said exactly what I just said. If you don't want it to happen, don't let it. Same with home runs. Same with 13-0 victories.
I think, and at the end of the day, congratulations to the women Yanks. They really showed they're ready to show up.
Alex Morgan with 5 goals. One in the 12th, 53rd, 74th, 81st, and 87th. Like, just looking at that score line, they had 4 goals in the 50th minute and 6 goals after 74 minutes. Come on, don't let that happen if you ever plan on winning.
Yeah. I mean, stuff, blowouts like this and stuff happen, and I don't think I've ever seen a game end in a 13 goal margin. Have you guys?
Not personally or live or anything like that. And, that is a World Cup record for the most goals scored and the biggest scoring margin. So this is extraordinary.
The only time I've ever seen people score like that is intentionally allowing goals like that, in like protest, the team would allow the other team just to score every time. This is the first authentic whomping of 13 goals I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's pretty unique in my opinion. It's not something, definitely not something you see every day. So congratulations to the women's national team. You are the team that we need, but the team that we do not deserve. So let's root for them and hope that they're just as successful in the remaining group stage rounds, and then of course the knockout rounds that are coming up following that. Let's talk about Reno 1868 FC, guys. It's something that we're here to do, right? So didn't go our way, gentlemen. I want to ask you guys. And I need you to be honest with me, and I need you to be honest with everyone listening right now. Surprised?
Very. I am very surprised, actually. I kind of went into this game expecting a win, if not getting out of there with a point. And after the first half, I was locked in. I was like, this game, like, they're dominating. They have complete control of the field. San Antonio's got nothing. But tale of two halves, right?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Although my exception to that rule is 100% I thought we didn't deserve both of the goals that we had. I felt like it's not that we played really well that first half, it's that San Antonio was so bad the first half, and we were just good enough to capitalize on it. Like, Cade Cowell's goal in the 17th minute comes off a mistake where one of the San Antonio players just kicks the ball across the box, and he picks it up and just puts it in the back of the net with relative ease, And as soon as the second half started, San Antonio didn't make the same mistakes as they did the first half, and there was nothing for us to work with.
I thought it was a really nice never say die attitude from San Antonio. So I want to give them credit for that. I don't think it was 100% implosion of Reno 1868 FC. Sure, I think Reno let off the gas a little bit and had a little bit of a defensive breakdown. When I say a little bit, I mean sizable, but sugarcoating a little bit there. San Antonio, came out, as Matt has put it, a different team, and that's where managers really make their money. Is you come back into the second half and you make changes, and changes work out. So well done from San Antonio on that note. To get a little bit more specific into what happened in the match, we had a very close call. Sorry, I'm like messing with like a ton of different windows. We had a pretty close call starting off, I think in the 7th minute. Guys, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong.
Sounds correct.
Yeah, where San Antonio had the opportunity to score, hit the woodwork, and that was that. Not far or not too much later, Corey Herzog off an assist from somebody. Well, you know what?
Mendiola.
Yeah, that's it. Raul Mendiola had an amazing game, and or had a solid game, and numerous different chances. But let me go ahead and show you this goal, and so that we can try to try this whole highlights thing out. Here it is.
This is their 7th road match of the season. 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws for them. And a ball clipped over the top. And Corey Herzog, and he perfectly places it into the near corner. And Reno.
See, Dan, this whole play starts with another giveaway from, coming out of
Look
the
at
back.
that.
And what a classy goal this is. He just plays it right up over.
What an assist and what a shot.
On his first touch.
We can't see it.
Look, they got caught out. Goalkeeper
Why?
and the back line
No.
communication.
I thought maybe he was going to the stream, and I'm like, I'm just gonna pretend like I see it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why you guys can't see it. It's so sad. Maybe it knows it's YouTube and it's not letting me show it.
When you're playing balls, at
Oh,
the
it could be.
top of the 18, it's going to make it easy.
Anyway,
Dispossessed off
can
the
you? I
ball.
think they can
It's
still
just
hear
part
it
of the learning
though.
curve
Actually.
and growing pains when you're gonna
So
start
I hope you
player
enjoyed the noise. Anyway, I'll get that figured out. We are running like live, so we're gonna not. I'm not gonna sit here and troubleshoot it, but really nice assist from Raul Mendiola, right side of the box, and then Corey Herzog from there was just able to chip it in, really clean. I mean, what is there to say? It was another good team goal, which we've had plenty of the last month or so.
Yeah, again, we are saying once again a great play, great overall team goal, and once again it's a Corey Herzog goal that resulted in a one touch from a one touch. Every single goal so far, he's just tapped it in.
Yeah, you can say he is the Wondolowski of this team. He knows how to put the ball in the back of the net when it comes to him in front of the net. He's an efficient scorer.
Very.
Yeah, also notable point is that the team did not have Brian Brown this week. And for a little bit, it looked like it didn't matter.
For the whole first half, yeah, it looked like it didn't matter that Cade Cowell, our 15-year-old rookie, is doing a good job making sure that we can be aggressive. Reno had in the first half something like 30 or 40 touches in the opposing final third of the field, while San Antonio had like 6 touches the whole first half in our box, and one of those resulted in a unfortunate score.
And the second goal was scored by a very young gentleman, significantly younger than all three of us, 15 years old. And that was... I have no idea where my notes went.
Cade Cowell.
Cade Cowell, that's it. Yes, Mr. Well, I don't want to call him babyface because that may be insulting, but he definitely looks super young. But yeah, he definitely came out and scored that goal off, and that was from an assist off of
a San Antonio player.
Oh, right. Yes,
it was
right.
a bad pass.
Yes, it was a very bad pass. He passed it right to him, and it was pretty much just an easy shot from there. I'd like to try to show you guys again, but I don't think that I'm going to be able to. I can't figure out, or at least I don't want to mess with it while we're recording and live and everything. But what a way to take advantage of a really bad mistake by the San Antonio defense. Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Matt is also fiddling around with something. Yeah, no, it was like I said earlier, it was a good effort by him just keeping his head in the game. The whole first half when Cade was on the field, he had his head in the game, and he was very good about finding where the ball was going and playing it and getting it somehow on his foot and doing something with it. Kind of unfortunate not to see him return in the second half. I imagine that's kind of a decision made by both the Earthquakes and by Ian in conjoint, not giving him too many minutes and wearing him out in his opener. But just based on how he looked the first half, I was surprised a little to see him come out for Danny Musovsky at the beginning of the second.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead, Matt.
like going off of what Brad said, I feel like that halftime subs are kind of rare for Ian. That's when you know that something's up and he really wants to see some change. Or, I mean, maybe in this case, because he is so young that he didn't want to overdo him. You know, he got in there, he got his goal. Let's get him out. Don't let him go nuts. Don't let him get hurt or overexert himself. But I don't know. I kind of wish he would have stayed in to see what else he could have done.
I think it was, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Things really kind of hit the fan a little bit later in the match. I was with Brad for the first half of the match. We went to the Reds watch party, which we should talk about a little bit actually after this. But we went to the watch party, and Reno was doing really well. And then all of a sudden, I left because I had to go. Evelyn got us tickets to the Star Wars Night Aces match or Aces game, and so we went, and that's really when stuff started hitting the fan. And Brad was joking around that Reno started losing because I bounced out, which, yeah, I mean that could be a thing, I mean, I don't know. I ended up. We were sitting at we're kind of over by where Douglas Alley hangs out, right? And in that on that field or the little there's a word for it, but I can't remember what it is.
Patio.
And sure,
Party
yeah,
zone.
that works. Party zone. That's the one I was thinking of. So we were at the party zone, and I pull out my phone, load up ESPN Plus, and it comes up, and we're behind already. We're behind, and San Antonio did score a goal like late in the first half. And so, but to be, it was like, I think the 55th minute. I don't have no idea what happened to the notes, guys. So if I say something wrong, correct me. But how does that happen? And so, yeah, I'm okay taking the blame. Reno lost because I left the watch party early. Unacceptable.
You're like a Vegas fan abandoning the team in the middle of the game, but we were ahead at the time.
Yeah,
Dude, that's kind of harsh. I mean, I blame John too, but that's really harsh.
So don't do that.
Unlike Vegas fans, I left when Reno was in the lead. That's a feeling that I don't think that they would understand. So anyway, guys, what happened? What led to Reno walking out of San Antonio with 3 points to walking out with none?
I think, like we had said earlier, San Antonio, I keep wanting to say San Jose. San Antonio, they came out with seemingly a different team in the second half. I don't know what the coach said to them. I don't know what he put in their water at halftime, but they really came out and they played like better than even their best game up to this point in the season. So there were a couple of defensive breakdowns for Reno, especially the one that resulted in the second goal.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't put all the blame on our boys. There were a couple lapses, but San Antonio were a force to be reckoned with in the second half. They had complete control.
Uh-oh, I see Brad talking, but I don't hear audio. All right, yeah, technical issues. Can you hear me, Matt?
I can hear you.
Cool, we'll roll with it until we hear the fine voice of Brad Polonsky.
I'm sorry, we're experiencing technical issues right now. Please stand by.
We
Testing,
knew
testing.
there it is. Okay, we knew that we were going to have
Hey.
some issues coming into this, and here they are turning their ugly heads. But Brad, you were saying.
Yeah, or trying to say. So one of the things that I noticed was it was 100 degrees almost plus humidity down in southern Texas or San Antonio, southern Texas, right? Yeah, I'm not
Sure.
crazy.
I think
I'm
it's
the
safe
geography guy
just to say,
too.
it's safe just to say
Texas.
Texas.
It's a big place.
Yeah.
So lots of humidity where they were playing in San Antonio. The pitch was we were comparing it to like a little kickball dirt field, right? It
Dude, there were
was
potholes.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
Like, I probably have played on better middle school soccer fields when I was, playing at recess. It was an interesting field. It was dusty. There was potholes, like Matt said. But one of the things that really stuck out was the conditioning of our team. After I was surprised our team lasted as well as they did up until the 75th minute, where they were still trying to make something happen, although it was a lot of kickball. Man, it's so tough. I can show you the little touch map for the whole second half for Reno. Let me pull that up because, story of two different halves is 100% the truth here. Pulling it up here. So this is our defensive half for the whole second half. Lots of touches here on our side. And here is the second third of the field, the offensive half. But there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches within or right outside of the box. This is Danny Musovski's shot on goal in the 80th minute.
80th. Oh,
Yeah.
God, that should have gone in. Oh.
Reno had, and I'll pull up my Brad stats early, Reno had 3 shots on target all game. I think that was the only shot on target the whole second half from Reno because the other 2 went in the goal in the first half. That's unexcusable. 3 shots on target all game, 1 the second half. And it comes off of Danny Musovski in the 80th minute. And we had 5 touches in the box the whole second half. 5 offensive touches in the box. Like, you're not going to win if you can't get the ball in that final quarter of the field, which we couldn't do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good on
It's
San
hard to
Antonio.
do that when you can't string together any passes in the midfield.
Yeah, no, San Antonio's back 4 and midfielders stepped it up that second half. They were tough to beat, and they won the game for the team.
Yeah, sorry guys, I was messing with some stuff. Yeah, it's really that's all you really have to say, is read some stats, and that's I mean, what else is there to say? Reno again plays a team that is well below it in the table, and in my opinion, not as good as Reno, and then it's a loss. In the past, it's been a draw. We lost to El Paso, right?
We lost to El Paso.
Yep,
we
right,
drew
okay.
against
Tulsa
Tacoma.
or Tacoma. That's it. Yeah.
And now lost on the road to San Antonio.
So Reno, I think, has you could call it a good thing, you can call it a bad thing. I would say it's more of a bad thing. Reno plays up to its competition, and Reno plays down to its competition. Unfortunately, when Reno plays down to its competition, it's more than likely that it's a loss. I think. And so sure, as far as we've seen, when they play up to competition, they beat the teams that they're playing. So it really depends on your outlook. I don't dig it. I'd rather the team just be the top of the pile all the time, and they sure have the ability to do so, but it's just not happening.
The one consistent thing I want to bring up is all of these games that we're talking about where Reno has looked abysmal, all on the road. These are not games that are at home. Reno is currently, I have wood, hold on. Knocking on wood on this one. Reno is currently undefeated at home. We look really good at home, and for some reason, we can't figure out how to make it work on the road. But that's just part of the league. Reno, and a lot of different teams. It's not just us. New Mexico has looked shaky on the road. Phoenix has looked shaky on the road. Sacramento has been excruciatingly bad also on the road. These are all teams that we see ourselves playing well against. And we haven't really played Phoenix yet. But other than the Sacramento game on the road and the Colorado Springs game on the road, we haven't looked too well on the road. But we've looked consistently good at home. And so I think it's safe to say, and I'm going to knock on some wood again because my desk is actually wood, that
Fair.
we that we are better at home. Just we play better at home than on the road.
I think it's very safe to say. I will give you that. And go back to your point, John. You were saying, like, I agree with you that Reno plays up to better teams and plays down to worse teams. But the only problem I have with that is that implies that Vegas is good, and I just can't have that.
In what way does it imply that Vegas is good?
Because they played a great game against Vegas, and that would imply that they played.
I think he was generalizing.
Well,
I know.
Yeah, I'm thinking
I'm just trying to poke holes in there, man. Come on, let me have it.
Reno crushed Vegas. Like let's be honest. It should have been 10 goals. It should have been 13. We should have seen 13 goals or 26 technically between U.S. Women's and Reno.
Then we could have been like, oh, we did it first. Oh.
Yeah. But we beat them 4-0, and they can live with that, and I think we'll live with that. So let's go ahead and start moving on a little bit. And there's really not much more we can say about this loss. It's a loss that shouldn't have been a loss, and that's it. So we don't have any interviews. I ended up not getting around to it yesterday. We'll have interviews next week because there's a home game, and let's talk about that home game. Reno 1868 FC is hosting LA Galaxy 2, June 15th, 5:30 p.m. Be there because we will be, barring any emergencies. But I'm hoping we'll be good. So the Galaxy's coming off of a 3-0 loss against El Paso. A red card was given to, is that Brian Iloski? The 55th minute, he's their assist leader, so we won't have to deal with him on Saturday. Who are some players we should watch out for?
I got two for you this week. The first is Ethan Zubak. He's one of their leading goal scorers. He has 3 goals in 10 appearances this year. Significant thing is he is another one of those kids at 21 years old. And the other player to look out for is your boomer bust of the week, and that is goaltender Justin Vomsteeg. He's played in 9 games for Los Dos this year, 3 clean sheets. That's really good. He still has conceded 15 goals in those 9 games, though, which is not really good. So, he either will show up and make big saves, or the defense will kind of bail him out a couple of times, or he will allow in 2 or 3 goals. That's 15 goals in 6 games. So when he's not holding a clean sheet, he allows more than 2 goals on average a game.
All right. Thanks, Brad. Questions for Reno. And I think now with, all things considered after last week, we got some questions. And I haven't fully formed mine yet, and I'm trying to think of it in a way where it's not like too insulting to the club. Okay, you know what? I'll just say it as it's in my mind. When are we going to stop letting teams come back, and when are we going to actually play like the potential championship winning side that we are? Those are my questions, and may or may not be answered this week. I mean, I feel like even if we blow out LA Galaxy, those questions will still remain because we have a team where you're just not sure what you're gonna get, and now it's getting to the point where you have a different team each half. You've got that really awesome team that we had in the first half of San Antonio, and then we had the team that kind of just disappeared in the second half. Sure, you can say, San Antonio did a good job, and they did, but Reno folded. You had 2 goals, and you let 3 goals be scored, and 2 of those goals were within 2 minutes of each other. So, just unacceptable performance in my opinion, and those questions I think are questions that are on everybody's mind. What do you guys think?
I'm going to look at last week's game, the San Antonio game, as kind of a tough circumstance. We had 2 offensive players on the bench. to sub in, and we had to make a late game sub when typically we have like 4, 6 different players to reach onto the bench. Not having Brownie kind of sucks. But some players on the bench that we didn't have there that we normally see, where was Apodaca in San Antonio? Where was Gleedle started the game, but where was Apodaca? Where was Rivas? Where was players like that? I know that currently Mafeka's hurt, but we went into a game where we had 6 players that we could sub in, 5 of them not being goaltenders, and of that, 3 of those being defensive players. So we went down basically undermanned into San Antonio because we already know that we don't like to make defensive subs. We don't like to bring up that back four. So I guess my question comes: who fills in for Brian Brown? I know this is a home game, so I'm not super worried. I'm not super worried, but who fills in for Brian Brown? That's the one question we had last time he went on international duty this year during the Fresno game. And this time, it's an extended amount of time that we're missing him. We already know that our scorer is going to be Corey Herzog in Brian Brown's absence, but who's going to step up and fill in that number 2 role or the number 1 role? That's just what are we missing? Is it going to be someone like Rivas or Apodaca? And if it's not them, why aren't they playing? Because we know both players are ballers. We know that Musovsky, when he's 100%, is good. I don't know if he's 100% either right now.
I think that opens the floor for you, Matt.
Alrighty. Well, my question, I guess, is going to be similar to what we did at the show before Tacoma, because I feel like Los Dos work very similar to how Tacoma does, where you never know what team you're going to see. You might end up facing a Los Dos that's got 4 senior G's on it. When you see stuff like that, when you see MLS teams start stacking their MLS 2, their USL side, to get some extra minutes, maybe they have a bye week, something like that. It makes it completely unpredictable. Do I think our guys can beat a team that's half MLSers? Sure, I do. But that all depends on our boys showing up and building off of this last defeat, learning what they did wrong, and buttoning up those holes and getting this season back on track. We were looking so good. We were rising in the stands, and we're still up there. It's still a very tight West, but they need to kick it into high gear now before the table really starts separating.
Yeah, I don't want you guys to get me wrong. I mean, I'm criticizing the team, but I also am going to pick them to win this week, obviously. We're going to just go into that. Are you guys good with that? All questions asked. TBA on them being addressed. Take the silence as a yes. All right,
I'm good with let's go.
All right, cool. Yeah, I've got Reno 1868 FC beating the LA Galaxy 2-0. I've got Seth Kasipli scoring, and I've got Raul Mendiola scoring. I don't think we're going to this is just a different guess than usual is kind of what I'm going for. Herzog going to score? Probably, but I think it'd be fun to see Raul and Seth score.
All right. I guess I'll take it. I am thinking along the same lines as you are. I'm looking at a 3-0 win for Reno. They're home. They're comfortable there. They play really well there. And even with the absence of Brown, we're looking at, I'm going to say 2 goals from Herzog and 1 from Mendiola.
All right. For me, I am going to say it's a 3-1 game this week. And I have goals from Herzog because we are at the point in the season where if you don't say Herzog, you're kind of trolling. I'm going to say Mendiola. And I'm going to go with a little bit of curveball. I want to see Cade play again. And if Cade plays, I want to see him score. I thought he made the right moves. He was attacking the ball. He was very aware of where he needed to be on the field at all times, which is something that a 15-year-old making his pro debut you don't ever see. I want to see that again.
And that was a 3-0 win, right? That you had
3-1.
3-1.
3-1. Gotcha. All right, and that's that. Nobody won last week because the closest person who won was probably Harry. And that was because he chose San Antonio. So yeah, we don't really need to go over the current score. Matt's still leading. That's really all we need to know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, and that's it. So, who do we? What do you guys want to talk about for the remainder in the other news? There really isn't any other news. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? I wanted to talk about the women soccer national team, which we did. So, floor's on you guys.
I got one thing. This Thursday, so by the time that you guys are hearing this podcast, whether it be tonight, tomorrow, or Thursday morning, because you guys listen to it precisely on time, this Thursday, the 13th, is a picnic with the players. It's a team picnic. Everybody's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Matt, you going to be there?
I actually didn't know about this, but I might now. What is it going to be?
I believe it starts at 5:30 or 6:30. Corinne sent out an email to season ticket holders a while ago.
I'm into it.
That's why I didn't get it.
Well,
I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Why do I not know about that?
hold on, I'm pulling it back open. Actually, what I can do is can I go full screen with this? Open a new window. There, that's close enough. All right. Since I can do this now, share screen, screen one, boop. So this is the event going on. It's a picnic with the players from 5:30 to 8. You need to RSVP. So if you have not RSVP'd already, I'll provide a link that we can tweet out to do so. But make sure you RSVP. It's going to be a lot of fun. Players are going to show up around 6 o'clock when dinner is served. And we'll have 2 hours just to talk with them about 1868, tactics that they use, who's going to play, kind of like what we do with Corey during Smoothie Days. But here it is, Hope to see everybody there.
Yeah, go. Sounds like fun. Yeah, I'm not going. I'll be honest with you guys. I gotta sleep. The job takes a lot out of me. Also, these players are probably sick and tired of seeing me by now. So I'll give them a little bit of a break. Anything else, Matt? Is there anything you want to bring up?
Oh, just there is kind of a kerfuffle going around the USL rumor mill, and I know that some of the rumors may be unfounded, but they ended up having some real world implications. Comments about that Eric Winalda made before the season started about how the players are going to be incentivized and paid kind of rubbed some people the wrong way. And then in an interview, their striker Irvin Parra said "pay me," is essentially implying that the players aren't getting paid. And then there was this whole debacle online trying to figure out who said what's real, what's not, and everything. And everyone's thinking that the Lights are kind of shafting the players a little bit, which when you're fans of your team, you come to really care for the players that suit up in your colors, and you want them to be treated well. So it really kind of caused an uproar. There's Brett Lashbrook, the owner, came out and said everyone's being paid what they're contractually obligated to. But Irvin Parra is sitting out on Saturday. This information was just released just about an hour ago. Sitting out Saturday for making those comments online that they're not getting paid. So, I mean, I know it's a big rumor mill, and it's nothing like it is in Mexico or England with the tabloids and all this crazy stuff they make up about the players. But I don't know. Kind of seeing a little bit of national attention from the USL and a little bit of scandal is kind of fun to see.
Especially when it's Vegas, right?
Exactly.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I think that's an interesting story. I don't I don't typically like reporting on like rumors. But of course, this isn't like, I think sometimes I feel like we should be 100% reporters, but that's not the case. We definitely try to entertain, which is why we're going to video. So, yeah, thanks for sharing, Matt.
Yeah. Yeah, like you're saying, like you don't want to report on rumors, but we can report on the fact that a rumor was released and thus quashed and then punished for.
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, that's that. The lights still suck, and the sun comes up and goes down. So, yeah, let's talk a little bit about random thoughts. And guys, I want to go first because this is near and dear to my heart. So, 1868 Weekly would not be a thing, and neither would Local Lowdown before it or Sportscast Weekly before that, if it weren't for video games. I know that sounds crazy, but hear me out. So, the very first journalistic avenue I took in my career was working for a gaming website called thegameraccess.com. And we went to E3 I think my second year. I wasn't eligible the first year, but my second year we went to E3. And I was able to talk to some, pretty big publishers doing journalistic stuff. Talk to Harmonix, the guys who make Rock Band, Bungie, around the time that Destiny 1 was in their second or third expansion. And that was really great. So I'm getting to E3 is really near and dear to my heart because of, partly because of that. Another part is because, I love video games, right? So, yeah, and E3 is going on right now. Today was the official first day, although events have been going on for the last couple of days. And I just wanted to throw out the fact that Nintendo is still king. The very first console I ever played was a Nintendo console, and that was the NES way back when. It was older. The NES is older than me. But anyway, that was the very first console I played, and then I grew up with Nintendo because of my dad, who was a big Nintendo fan. And so being able today to... it's still every single year. It still sucks not being at E3, but I'm not a gaming journalist anymore, right? So I don't go. But anyway, why am I telling you guys this? Because I guess it's a random thought, right? But it's E3's fun. We had some really fun announcements, and a sequel to Breath of the Wild, I think, is probably the biggest curveball that we saw this year.
Yeah,
and, yeah, just crazy because we didn't see that coming. I don't think anybody would have guessed. And so Link's Awakening. I'm a big Zelda fan. Matt's also a big Zelda fan. I know.
I can't wait for Link's Awakening.
Yeah, I know you're a big fan of Link's Awakening, and so have you been able to catch up on that footage yet? The new footage?
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so excited.
Look, okay, so not only am I a fan of video games and obviously sports, since we do the sports podcast and everything, but I'm also a fan of, as I reach over, these things. And I know that not everybody watching is a gamer or into statues. Yes, it's a statue, not a goddamn action figure. Obviously, this is Mario, right? But this thing is actually an amiibo. It's a special edition amiibo, might I add. Yeah. And so they just released the image of a new amiibo coming out for Link's Awakening. And it's Link with all the he's a little bit more cartoony in this game. So, yeah, I'm super excited about that. It's kind of actually really rad because now I can show you guys stuff since we're on video. My man, Kevin Pertita. And,
yeah, he's right here.
And, yeah, you're probably going to see some guest appearances from Truckee, from Matt. He kind of just shows up on the screen every now and then.
Yeah, he likes the attention. He always pops up in our section, so he's always got to pop up.
Totally. And then the focus doesn't really know what to put it on. Anyway, E3, great event, a lot of fun, and Nintendo's still king. And why I don't know. I feel like I'm close to you guys now, you two, and then the listeners. So there's a little piece of me that you may or may not have known about. So there you go. Brad, you look a little bit bored. So you're gonna tell us what you're thinking about.
Next. All right. I'm happy to see that. Well, I'll start off. I have 2 or 3 main things for my random thoughts. The first is I'm just keeping an eye on my side monitor, kind of watching from a distance all of the Open Cup matches going on so far. Austin Bold just scored against Houston to make it a 3-2. Austin still losing. But some surprises out there. St. Louis FC is currently beating the Chicago Fire 2-0 at halftime. I don't know, history will tell the people later down the line what the final was for that game. But Sacramento plays San Jose tonight. I'm cheering for the Earthquakes during that game. And sticking with E3 and specifically Nintendo because Nintendo killed it. One of the things, although it got delayed to next year, which kind of sucks, but one of the things that I think the Nintendo community as a whole was looking forward to was more information on Animal Crossing.
Mhm.
And I think we got more information than we had bargained for with kind of what they released and what the new Nintendo New Horizons game looks like. Essentially, if you don't know about Animal Crossing, it's a video game kind of like a life simulator that you control a little cartoon character and you eventually take up the point of being a mayor of a town and interacting with different animal like characters within your town. I don't know if I can oversimplify it more than that. But this new one, you are getting sent to a deserted island and you need to build the island from deserted to inhabitable to amazing. And it's an idea in the game that I didn't think was possible. I didn't even think about it. But the upgrades that they're making to that game are mostly what everybody in the community was looking forward to. And it's a game that I grew up. It was one of the first games I really put like hundreds of hours into, the original Animal Crossing back in 2002, because I got a late start to my gaming. But
Oh, you're such a baby.
Yeah, I know. I was
know.
thinking the same thing. I was like, oh, I wasn't I just talking
I
about
know.
the NES like
It-
5
The
minutes ago.
first game I put hundreds of hours into was the original Zelda.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
What up?
I know. I mean, I'm 23. What can I say?
I know. I'm just
Oh,
giving you crap, man. You can't do anything about your age.
Hey, I'm not Dylan. Okay, Dylan's younger than I am from Orange County, which is a
Dylan's like
perfect
18,
segue.
isn't he?
He's 21.
21.
But that's a perfect segue. Huge shout out to the guys over at Orange County Soccer, or Orange and Black Soccer Cast. Today is their 52nd, 53rd episode. They are a year old. It's their anniversary, and I want to give them a shout out because that's kind of where our podcast is modeled off of. Just kind of from them and John, you learning a lot about podcasting through them. And so they invited, I believe, both you and I to join them. I know that you have your work schedule that interferes with it.
Yeah.
So I will be making an appearance tonight on that podcast right after this one. And, just celebrating a year for them. That's a good thing for them.
Yeah, definitely. I was like, they were one of the first people who reached out to me, as like a Reno 1868 expert. And yeah, I mean, it started with Orange and Black, and that was when we were still the local lowdown. They reached out to me through Sportscast Weekly. So, and then it was a few months later I finally rebranded to 1868 Weekly, and then they kind of helped me get connected with the Beautiful Game Network, and which we are a part of, by the way. Don't ever forget that. And yeah, so congrats, guys. I appreciate you, and here's to another year of both of our shows. Matt, what's your random thought?
All right, my random thought. I'm going to push up my nerd glasses and go back into the video game realm. I'm going to hang out with you. Just recently saw Detective Pikachu. I don't know if you guys have seen that yet.
Nope, don't spoil it.
No spoilers, but I will just say, as somebody who has been playing Pokemon since Red and Blue, I may have missed a generation here and there because I didn't have a 3DS, but it was a big in the nostalgia gut. That movie, it really hung out in the first and second gen, where a lot of older people, about my age, would have grown up with it. The people who are actually out there, thriving in the economy and all that kind of stuff, they want to play to us, obviously. So they got to go with the old stuff. They only threw in a couple of new stuff that I actually had to look up. And when my wife Angela was asking me, well, what's that cute little thing? And I'm no idea, but it's adorable. But the world building, the character design, the way they made him look a little cartoony, but still kind of real and physical in there. It was a really good job. I thought that it was enjoyable as a movie as a whole. You know, like as a movie, a 7 out of 10. But visually and for the nostalgia factor, 10 out of 10. And nice little twist at the end.
Cool. Yeah, I gotta check it out. I haven't seen it yet either. But I will see it, and I don't know. Yeah, we got the movies are weird with Evelyn and I. I mean, like, we'll go see certain movies right away, and then other movies that we really want to see, we won't. We might not even see this movie in theaters. I don't know. Anyway, thanks, guys. Fun random thoughts. I always like talking about. It's hard for me to control myself when talking about E3. But I'm going to, and we're going to wrap the show up. Brad, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me primarily on Reddit at u/palonthesky. That's it.
Matt.
That's all you got? All right, cool. So you can find me mostly on Reddit or a little bit on Twitter here and there. I've been doing a little more lately, so hit me up. My username on both is RafOutLoud with underscores between each word.
And if you guys are watching this, you're probably watching this on YouTube, so thanks so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. And then follow 1868 Weekly on Twitter, and you can follow me on Instagram at the John Macaluso, and then on Twitter at John Macaluso. And lastly, feel free to send me a friend request on Facebook. Brad, you're going to take us away live. We're going to look at your face as you say the words that take us out of the episode.
All right. Well, I'll just do this then. As always, thank you guys for watching. In Ian we trust. And
Vamos
Azules!
Vamos Azules!
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody, and watching.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. This was fun.